Welcome to this podcast. Welcome to People I Know. Sam is one of the dear people I know, and I feel like it was a really, really exciting podcast guest because Sam has a lot of stories and also opinions, and I really love that about you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm excited to be here. I'm really happy to share this podcast with you, my dear friend Bella.
And you said you would never go on a podcast?
Yeah, so for a long time I had a pretty big rule. I was very anti the idea of going on a podcast, mainly because I'm a strong believer that not everybody deserves a platform. But
not all voices need to be heard.
Exactly, not all voices need to be heard. But you, my dear friend Bella, you do deserve a platform.
And thanks.
Now that I'm on this podcast, there's going to be, I'm going to get invitations to go on a lot of podcasts, and I'm going to have to be more selective, I think.
Sure, yeah. Once they realize that you're like an amazing guest.
Exactly.
You guys might notice there's a new setting.
True.
The past 4 episodes have been at my apartment that I previously lived in Utah. And now that I'm homeless again, we're at Sam's apartment. So that's kind of fun. So Sam and I actually haven't even known each other for too long, although it feels like forever. I feel like we have known each other,
couple years.
3. Yeah. We met basically when Sam transferred to Tufts his junior fall. And do you want to talk about that? Was that scary transferring?
It was definitely an interesting time.
I feel like especially halfway through college, a lot of people transfer after freshman year.
Very true, very true. So I did my freshman year and my sophomore fall at another school, which I liked. A lot of it was good, but I also had some crazy friends and definitely did not meet the right people at the time. And so I took a gap semester, I worked, and then decided to transfer. And then ended up at Tufts my junior year. And I liked parts of it. I didn't like parts of it. I think we're going to get into that. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. But transferring schools was definitely scary conceptually. But once it actually happened, I'm a big believer in mindset. And I think that if you go into something telling yourself, I'm going to do well here, I'm going to make friends, I'm going to be well liked, I'm going to get involved, I'm going to have a really good time, that is going to follow you. One of my favorite sayings is the words that follow I am follow you. So if you tell yourself I'm going to accomplish my goal, I am strong, I am incredible at this, I'm able to do this, that will follow you. You're going to be more likely to accomplish any goal you set your mind to. But on the other hand, if you say, I'm not worthy, I'm not good, I'm unable to do this, I'll never get this done, that's going to follow you and you're way less likely to accomplish what you're going to do. And so going into a big transition or a change, like changing schools, I knew I was going to be fine, I was going to have a great time, I was going to make a lot of good friends, and so that followed me. And I had a good time, but Tufts was far from perfect, and I'm really excited to jump into some of my crazy times I had there.
Definitely, I agree. I feel like you came into Tufts with so yourself and such a strong personality. We have to talk about first impressions, but my first impression of you, I'm sure is different than your first impression of me, because mine was that how smart you were, how yourself you were so outgoing, so smiley, so friendly, and I always felt like you were just on top of your shit. I still feel this way. You know how to invest your money, you knew how to kill the grad school applications, you knew about testing, you knew about post-grad life. You were just always on top of it, and I was always Sam, please give me advice. I have literally no idea what's going on right now.
That's so fair. I feel like I just am lucky where I not only believe I can do things, but I learn how to do things myself, and I can do them. And definitely part of that is executive functioning. I feel like I have high levels of executive functioning in this world. Which, my girlfriend likes to say that I'm mentally privileged.
I like that.
Because sometimes I'm like, oh, what do you mean you can't just do the thing? Do the thing.
Yeah.
And
make a phone call, send an email.
Yeah, I don't understand. There are a lot of people who really struggle with that, and that's really hard for them, and I empathize. And at the same time, I'm like, girl, just do it. What? It's not hard. I'm mentally privileged, so I need to take that in and understand that things that are easy for me aren't always easy for everybody.
That's fair.
But first impressions, I'm trying to remember, where did we first meet, Bella? What happened?
Well, Sam and I were part of the same club called Ears for Peers, which is basically a mental health hotline at Tufts, specifically for the students of Tufts. And we both worked on it. I don't know if we ever took a shift together before we were friends. Did we?
Probably not. I think we became friends at one of the mixers that we had at the club.
Definitely, right.
I do remember very vividly the time where because I knew you. We were in this club together, so I knew who you were. We chatted a couple of times. But I feel like the time I first remember us really clicking was we went to this party. It was in this girl's basement. The way the Tufts houses work, your junior and senior year, you live off campus, and a lot of the houses, they're built in the 1920s, 1930s, so they have these pretty big industrial basements. But this girl's house was pretty special. It had a nice finished basement. and we were sitting in her basement and we were chatting about life and about ears and of school. But I just remember you being so outgoing, and the stories you were telling me, I was like, damn, this girl's crazy. But I loved it. Like, I was so here for it because, you know, I'm a firm believer that people serve different purposes in your life, right? And like, you have some people in your life that are really important to you. They're very special. They're like very emotionally close to you. And there are other people who are just fucking crazy. And, you know, Bella, you're somebody who I'm lucky enough to say, like, you can fit into both categories.
Oh,
and it's very special.
I thought you were just going to say I was crazy.
You are
I was
crazy.
like waiting for
crazy.
the punchline.
No.
Wait, so yeah, Sam referring to me to all of his friends. What do you call me, Sam?
Crazy Bella.
Crazy Bella. And they recognize that. Like, there's no
like,
regular
literally.
Bella. It's just
No, it's
crazy,
just crazy
Bella.
Bella. So like earlier today, one of my friends, I accidentally ran into her at the bagel store, and she was with one of her friends from her grad school program, and we were all chatting, and they were like, oh, what are you doing later today? I was like, oh, before my party tonight, I'm gonna go on my friend Crazy Bella's podcast. And my friend Haley, she turns to this like other girl, her name is Amanda, and Haley turns to Amanda and she's like, Bella is crazy. And that is like the reputation that my dear friend Bella has. And I'm really glad you have that reputation because it makes going places with you like really easy because you can just be the center of attention and the entertainment for the world. And it's really good. I love it. It's
I need to like
fun.
every time I'm with Sam, I need to like have him say out loud that like it's crazy in a good way. Like I always need the reassurance. Yeah. Sam, right? It's crazy in a good way.
In a good way. Don't worry. If you meet Bella out on the street, like don't run. Like I would go up to her and be like, "Oh my god, hi, Crazy Bella, how are you?" And she's gonna be like, "Oh my god, hi." She's gonna be really happy to talk to you.
So happy. But yeah, I feel like I don't even understand. I feel like Sam was just somebody that I like got close with because I went abroad my junior spring, so like right after kind of Sam and I had met. And then when I came back senior fall, I feel like you were just like a really friendly face. I saw you all the time, but we really definitely bonded when we were TDC partners.
Oh my god, that was the best.
So there's this dance group at Tufts, and we were talking about it on last week's podcast with Rachel because she was also in our TDC group.
Oh my god, wait, listen to that episode. That's gotta be juicy.
It is. It was good, yeah. And we were talking about how Sam was my partner and how we were placed in like the back left.
Because we were not very good at dancing.
We were bad. But like it was literally a dance club for people that sucked at dancing, so I don't understand why we were the worst.
We sucked like extra hard.
I don't get it.
Well.
It was really insane.
But it was really fun.
Don't stop.
It was a really good time. But there were a couple times I remember there was one TDC practice. I actually have two TDC stories.
Oh, great.
So one TDC story, we were, you know, hanging out, doing our little dance, and at the end I was like, oh Bella, like you were like 5 minutes late like to this practice, like what were you up to? And Bella was like, oh, I met this guy on a Raya. For context, guys, those who don't know, which if you're listening to this podcast, let's be real, you probably know, but Raya is an app for famous people dating, like for people who are like high net worth,
celebrity
bougie, celebrity dating. Yeah. But somehow Crazy Bella got onto the Raya app because of course she did. I think that they like profiled her. They were like, yeah, that girl belongs. And so she was on a date with a famous rapper's ex-boyfriend.
Yes.
Yeah. And I
Iggy Azalea.
Oh, I wasn't going to name
Oh, no, we can name drop Iggy Azalea.
So, yeah, she was on a date with...
I put my name.
She was on this date with, like, Iggy Azalea's ex-boyfriend. And I was like, girl, you crazy. And then my second TDC story, this is about one of our choreographers. There's a boy and a girl. I'm good friends with the boy. I'm, like not close friends with the girl. I'm not going to say her name, but we can call her Lacey. And during the wonderful TDC, there was one day where we all come in, and the first day, the first start of every TDC practice, we'd like sit in a circle and we would chat and do like a check-in question.
Try to like get to know each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And this one day, Lacey is like very upset, like visibly, like she's like shaken and she's not well.
And she's sobbing.
Yeah, she's like crying. Like there are tears coming out of her face.
Eyes are red.
And we're like, oh my god, like Lacey, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, like guys, I'm okay, I'll be okay. But we all thought like there was something like really serious.
Oh, totally. Going on. Death in the family.
And like, yeah, something like a big deal. And it comes to her, she's like about to share what's going on. And she's like, guys, like, I'm sorry, I'll be okay. But my sorority, they made me the sober monitor for the party tonight. And I was like, girl, get a grip. Like, you need a freaking grip on life.
Sobbing,
She was
guys.
very upset.
Like, literally, like, was literally in the corner sobbing, like, head to the forehead.
I know.
It was crazy.
Pretty funny.
And everyone else was feeling, like, so sympathetic for her. They were like, oh my god,
we're
Lacey.
so sorry,
like, we're so sorry.
Yeah.
Sam and I are in the corner, like,
we're like,
bruh. We're like, no fucking way.
That, I feel like, is a pretty big theme at Tufts. Like, everybody is very kind and very validating, and that's, like, a really good thing, but I think that there are certain circles where that happens a little bit too much. I will preface this by saying, I'm a very progressive person, you know, I definitely feel like I'm on the pretty middle to like farther left of the political spectrum.
For sure.
And there are times in which people in my classes would say some like crazy stuff.
That would make you slide a little bit.
It made me slide a little bit to the right. Like, you know, most people go to college and they become more liberal. They go more to the left. Like, I went to college and I feel like I became like a moderate Democrat. And like that, if I said that in any of my classes, they would like cancel me to like the nth degree. So I was an American Studies major, which, you know, conceptually is like history, poli-sci, social, English. You take a bunch of classes.
Did you choose that on purpose, or was that the only thing?
No, literally.
That was the only thing you could take, like, because you transferred?
So I was an American Studies major at my first school, but there it was very different. It was, you take a bunch of classes, like, across any discipline. They all count for your major, and then you write a thesis your senior year. And it was within the, like, Institute for Liberal Arts, and they had really cool classes. They're really interesting. And I was super into that. But at Tufts, American Studies is within the Department of Race, Colonialism, and Diaspora, which is like more like ethnic studies. It's more like ethnic studies. So the other majors are like African American studies, like Native American studies. It's like cool. But you know, the classes I took were sometimes a little bit too far to the left. The classwork themselves were okay, but the people were insane. So
I need to hear about this.
Oh my god. Okay. So couple stories.
And if you guys know anything about Tufts or went to Tufts or know people that went to Tufts, you would understand this. Like, this place is a whole other world.
People are like insane. I'm so glad that I transferred going into my junior year, because I feel like I had 2 years of college that were
normal.
Like, not necessarily normal, but like I had confidence in my life outside of being on a college campus, so I like didn't really gaff what people thought. Like, I'm like, I don't care what you think about me. Like, I'm just existing and living my life. Like, I have a life, not just like in this tiny bubble. So we're in this class. It's the first day of class, and it is a methods class in race, colonialism, and diaspora. And don't ask me what methods there are. I don't know. But the first day of class, we're split into groups of like 4 people. And in my group, there's me, 3 others, and we're given a reading assignment. And in 30 minutes, we have to like present on like our findings from the reading. It's very simple. So I, being the kind person I am, I took initiative and I started a slideshow on Google Slides, and I shared it with everybody, and I wrote our names on the first slide. Right? Helpful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this one girl in my group, she looks at me like deadpan, and she goes, "You capitalize your name?" And I was like, yeah, like I capitalized my name. Like, what do you mean? And then she went into the slideshow and like deleted her name and made it lowercase, which I was like, okay, that's weird, but whatever. But because everyone else in the group wants to follow this like most progressive, like they want to be the weirdest they can be, they all then went into the presentation and like uncapitalized their names. So to this day, if you look at the presentation, it says my name, Sam, in like capital letters. Like the first letter is capitalized of my first and last name.
Like normal grammar.
Like grammatically correct. Okay. And theirs are like all lowercase. And I'm like, okay, that's nuts.
But did they say why?
So that's a great question. It was my understanding that they were taking agency and ownership over something that was like imperialized and colonialized like within language, because there's some argument to be made that like the English language is colonial, and so thus for they're taking agency over this like colonial thing. It was weird. I don't know, and I thought they were crazy. But I have more stories, so I'm really glad we could focus on this.
Yes, because this is wild.
So that was one thing. Same person in my class. We're going around during like there's a guest lecture at the front, and we're going around saying our names, our pronouns. And this is tough. So of course there are people who say they, them, they, he, whatever. And some people say like any pronouns, also whatever. This one person, like, they're like, I'm Sasha and I don't use pronouns. 1, I, like you just did, I's a pronoun. And 2, like, they're not optional. Like, you don't get to choose, like, what do you want to go by Sasha self? Like, hi, Sasha said Sasha this, Sasha that. Like, that's not, you need to use a pronoun. And I don't know if you guys know, but there's this thing called horseshoe theory. And it's the idea that, like, you're so far on the left that you're, like, back on the right. And, like,
what? I've never heard of that.
In the same way with you're so far on the right, you're on the left. And, like, the same vibe of like I don't use pronouns is the same thing as being like my pronouns are USA, bitch. Like it's like the same exact thing. And I'm like, okay, these people are crazy.
But I'm just not understanding, like, if you don't use pronouns, like that was it. Like that was, that the conversation ended and then people just never referred to this
the professor like literally. But that's the thing is like then what do you refer to this person as? You just say like Sasha, Sasha? Like, or
like you're like you,
but use a pronoun.
Oh shit.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly. So kind of a catch-22 here, guys, but pronouns crazy. So Same class. A lot of stories came from this class.
Good, I love this. I know nothing about
A
this.
final project we had, as part of the final project, we had to create a story map. And a story map, it's very simple. Think about like a map, and history obviously happens like across different places. So you put like a thing on the map, like a marker, and you write like a paragraph or an essay about something that happened in this place. Make sense?
Sure.
So professor's explaining this, and this one girl, her name, we're gonna call her Paige. Paige raises her hand, and Paige is like, given that maps are inherently colonial, how do we represent space like in a way that's constructive? And it'd be one thing if people were like, oh, like interesting idea, like, but it's a map. But everyone is like, like everyone like smiles and nods and is like, oh yeah, like snaps, like good idea. And meanwhile, I'm sitting there like,
well, I was
oh my
gonna
God,
say like what is
like these people are so like you're crazy. Like there's no other way. Like you're actually insane. These people have like overanalyzed and like academicized so much of their life that their reality becomes this like it's like non-existent reality. Like they don't live in the real world because they live in these like this semblance of ideas in like leftist academic speak. And it's so stupid.
But what do they do when they graduate? Like how do they
Girl, that's what's crazy. So this girl Paige, and like no shade, this person is very smart. I'll tell another quick story about this person.
Yeah.
So we're in a group project together. There's 4 of us in this group project. We need to meet outside of class to work on this group project. When we're messaging in the chats trying to figure out a chance to meet, this person, Paige is like, guys, I can't meet. And we're like, we need to, like, it's for a class.
It's
like,
literally required.
Yeah, we have to. And she's like, I can't because I got arrested and I'm going to go to prison for 30 days unless I do like 75 hours of community service. And when I asked, I was like, what did you get arrested for? She was like, I wasn't afraid to take direct action. And I was like, you crazy bitch. Like, you're insane.
Wait, direct action for what?
I don't know. But I think she probably threw a brick in a building or something, or like assaulted a cop. Like, I don't know what she did. I don't want to like hypothesize and like slander anybody, but like straight up, she's like, I can't meet because I'm like, have to do community service. I got arrested. I'm like, you're crazy. But this person, very, very smart and like in specifically the academic, like trying to academic leftist everything.
Yeah.
They're getting a PhD in American Studies at an Ivy League university.
Damn.
So like, hey, like I'm throwing shade their way. No shade to
yeah. I mean,
to
like,
them. I
they'll
guess
just fine. I guess
they're living their
probably
lives.
stay in academia forever.
That's where they
right where you belong. Yeah,
yeah. So academia is crazy.
Wild. Wait, I like seriously had never like been privy to like these snapping things that would happen at Tufts. But before I went to Tufts, had no idea how to snap. That was one of the things.
How'd you learn?
Because I was so often in these circles where you had to snap. I still can't snap with this hand.
That's bad. You
can't do it. But this one I learned how to snap with, and sometimes I can't even do it. Like I don't have a great snap.
Yeah, it looks like you don't know how. So.
No. Yeah, I can't really do it. To be honest, I still can't. But I was always like, people would stare at you if you weren't right there. Then like you were like literally like you would be ostracized because like then you didn't agree with whatever was going on there.
Yeah, it was crazy. We had a crazy Tufts experience.
Would you say that you enjoyed it? Like, did you like it?
Parts of it, definitely.
Okay.
I really liked Ears for Peers that we did, the mental health hotline that we were on. I really liked. I liked being involved. I was in TEDx, which I really liked.
Oh my God, I went to see that because of you. Yeah.
Stop.
It was so good.
About TEDx, it was really awesome because we worked with students who wanted to put on like TED Talks, and they became real TED Talks, and it's anybody university affiliated. So some students, some adults, like professors, grad students, that sort of thing, like alumni. But I was lucky enough my junior year to work with this guy named David, and this is his real name, David DeValle. Look him up. He's amazing. He was the first formerly incarcerated student at Tufts. And the thing that made me most proud about being a Tufts student was Tuppet. Tuppet, for those who don't know, was the Tufts University Prison Initiative. And it is a wonderful academic program where students, so like Tufts students, they can go into prisons and help tutor the people who are incarcerated. And then when the people finish their sentences, they can go straight to Tufts and become like full-time Tufts students. They can get their bachelor's degree in civic studies. And it is so wonderful. And it was really cool to work with him, get to know his story and his experience, and have him be able to share that to people who went to Tufts, people who were just sitting in the audience. So check out David DeValle's TED Talk. It's really cool. What did he do? He was in prison for attempted murder. And yeah, he what actually happened, like his cousin had been robbing him like over the course of like multiple months, like time and time again, and he was really scared that his cousin was going to come and like kill him and his mother and his daughter, and so he went up to his cousin and like shot him in broad daylight at like a basketball game. But he's since like, you know, really repented a lot for all of the stuff that happened and has grown so much. And like what he would say and like what I would say as well is like, you don't want to judge somebody based off of like the worst mistake that they've ever made. Like,
sure, because then like, I would be in the freaking
you would
like
be,
yeah,
girl,
like no.
Like, yeah, exactly. So definitely don't want to do that. But, you know, it's super cool that Tufts has a program where we can take people who are incarcerated and like not only rehabilitate them through education, but like show them like that their voice is really important and like they matter as a person.
Yeah, change their lives.
Yeah, because I feel like being in prison, like you aren't taught that you like matter. Like you're the opposite. Like you're really told like you don't matter at all. Your life is worthless. Like, and I think being able to leave that like place and come to like an educational institution where you can flourish and feel like supported and cared for, like super, super cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you go to therapy?
Like every once in a while.
Okay.
But my hot take is that perpetual therapy is bad. Like you should not be in therapy forever.
Tell me about this.
Like you should be in therapy to get
as
through,
somebody that worked on the mental health hotline, by the way.
For real. Well, I care about mental health a lot. I think I've just become more like, what's the word? I've just become less woke. I'm like,
that's fair.
I'm like,
but like, okay, what if you have like an actual problem though that you need to like talk?
I think that you should be in therapy for the time it takes you to like get enough coping mechanisms and strategies and skills to learn to then deal with that problem without a therapist being there 24/7 for you. I think it's really important that people have access to therapy. I'm like very passionate about mental health. I think it's really important. I think that you should be in therapy working towards a goal, and you have a problem that you're working on. And once you are given the skills, the coping strategies and coping mechanisms to really be able to work on that skill, like you should try to wean yourself off of therapy, because what ends up happening is people become in the state of like perpetual dependency on a therapist where they every week or every 2 weeks like need to see their therapist, and when they can't, like their life, it's very difficult for them to manage their life. And again, this is coming from my own place of like mental health, and I'm mentally privileged, as we know, so like don't take my advice. I'm just like a random schmuck on the internet, like don't listen to me. But I think ideally you want to get to a point where you are able to work through things on your own and you have a support system outside of just a therapist. Like I think your therapist should be somebody that helps you get through a specific problem and not somebody who is there for you 24/7 to like lean on. Like you have friends for that, you have family for that, you have a big support system hopefully that you're like actively building to be there for you during those times. And when you need like professional help, you have that as well. Does that make sense?
That's fair. I like that.
Yeah.
I think like I don't even understand like I think therapy for me is good because I'm always working through past issues, but I'm not working really as much through like ongoing things, because ongoing things for me, it's just like, okay, yeah, like deal with it. Like I know how to deal with it. I feel like in therapy, it's more like unlocking old things or like coming up with reasons for like why this is affecting me.
That's good. That's good.
But I don't know.
I do think what's really interesting, and people are just built differently, but I'm somebody who is sometimes analytical, but also sometimes like not very, like I try to just like exist and be present. And I have a lot of friends who are like super analytical. And I think it can be difficult sometimes when all people want to do is to like think deeply and like analyze and figure out why and why and why. Because at the end of the day, like one, like you can't change the past. Like what's happened has happened. The only thing you can do is change like how you perceive it or like what your mindset is. And I do think it is healthy at a certain point to say like what's in the past is like in the past and like I can't change it. Like for example, like in my own life, I have been through things that have been difficult, that have really sucked in that moment. But I think if for me, I know if every single week or every 2 weeks I was in therapy, like really diving into those things that like were hurtful and like not good and like made me feel shitty, like that would not be healthy for me. Like, and not everyone's like that. But like, for example, like my parents have gotten divorced twice. Like my mom and dad were together until I was 4, and then my mom and stepdad were together until my senior year of college, and they both got divorced. And again, this is like a mindset thing. Like you can think of that as like, oh my God, that's like, must be traumatic and difficult. And like definitely has been, you know, not the most ideal at certain times. Sure. But at the end of the day, like my 3 parents, like my mom, my dad, and my stepdad, they're all like wonderful people who I love and who I think like are just simply better and happier when they're not together. So like I would rather like I see divorce as like kind of a good thing. I'm like, I would rather my parents be divorced and happy than like together and miserable, you know?
Yeah.
And I think anything can happen to you. Like I had to transfer schools. I like lost a lot of friends when I transferred. And I think it's all about mindset, like how you see it. Like I think I'm always somebody who's going to be optimistic. I'm going to be positive. I know the future is bright. Like I know I'm going to be happy where I'm going, and I can picture myself getting there. It's just a matter of, you know, how much of my energy do I focus on that versus like, oh my God, right now I'm dealing with XYZ difficult thing and it's really hard. And I think you always want to focus on the positives.
I like that mindset. I feel like I spend so much time like reflecting on like my ex-boyfriend, and then I think about him all the time because of that. And I'm like, oh, I'm always thinking about him. But then every Tuesday rolls around and I'm talking about him, and I'm like,
that's probably why
what
you're
if we
thinking
just
about him
stop
so much.
talking about him?
Do you think it'd be worth it for you to like go a month without talking about him, like in therapy? How do you think that would like affect your day-to-day life?
I don't know. I like don't know if that's I don't know. I guess like the reason that we talk about him is like trying to see how what I'm taking from that past situation into my present situations. So it's like, okay, well, like maybe you're adverse to commitment and adverse to relationships because this happened, and like, okay, let's talk about it. What exactly happened? So I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked what you said when you were talking about like where you want to be and you see yourself getting there. Like, where do you want to be? Like, where do you see yourself in like 5 years? Like, are you in the same job? Are you in Massachusetts? Where are you? What's your plan?
Damn, that's a good question.
You must have a 5-year plan, knowing you.
Of course.
Like, yeah.
Obviously.
Do you have like a 10-year plan?
Like, no.
By the way, I have a 1-week plan. Yeah. Like,
You're like, my calendar goes to next week.
Well, honestly, I don't even know where I'm going to be next week. Like, I literally am like a weekend by weekend person.
Good
and
for
like,
you.
after this weekend, where I'll be next weekend,
Hey.
not positive. Yeah.
I honestly like respect that. I think I need the structure of like planning out my life enough. I will also say like it isn't good to plan out every single thing. Obviously, you have to be open to spontaneity, and like that's why you're in my life, because you're
I
spontaneous.
went from being like, you wouldn't even recognize me my freshman and sophomore year. Freshman and sophomore year, I was like so by the book. Like I only did things that I'd planned weeks in advance. I had every single hour of every single day planned all the time. I had this huge planner that I literally leafed through multiple times a day just so that I could like memorize what I was doing the next days. And if somebody was like, oh, you want to hang out tonight? You want to do this? I would be like, nope. And then I got so mega burnt out and that I just became this like free rolling, like free falling type person. And I definitely have been looking for like more structure in my life. I need a routine. I need to like settle back into that. I think my excuse right now is that it's like summer and a lot of people are more free to like hanging out and open to traveling and stuff like that.
You also like have a really cool like flexible job where you can work from wherever, and you don't need to follow like a specific like regimented schedule. Because I feel like right now I'm in a post-grad world where like most of my friends are working like during the day. So like my days, and I also work during the day for the most part, but I have a great job. I work at a French company. Like it's very chill, very flexible. So I can do my work from wherever, which is really nice. But do I have a 5-year plan, 10-year plan? Somewhat. I'll tell a quick story from last summer. So I worked as an intern at this like education startup that was really, really cool. And I was talking to my boss, who's now my mentor, somebody who I really look up to. And we were in a group of people, like all my age, all working there as like college students. And we were all chatting about, you know, oh, it'd be so cool to move to Paris or New York City or LA or wherever. And we're going in a circle saying, if you could live anywhere in the world, like where would you want to live? And again, people said, oh, so cool to live in Brooklyn in New York or in LA or in Chicago, all these like big cities, or even like the desert, or just like all these cool places like Paris, like Europe, Australia. And my boss and my mentor, his name's Eric. He's wonderful. He's about 39, 40. And he goes, where all the people who love me are. And I thought that was so beautiful and so the right answer. Like, how silly of us to think that you can go wherever, you know, you can move to some new place, Australia, you can move to London, you can move to all these beautiful places and see cool things. But at the end of the day, like for me, what matters most is like where all my people are. And even last week I was on vacation. I was in Montana, which was beautiful, got to see some cool national parks. And I love going out to the West. I have family in Utah, and I'm there sometimes, and it's super, super nice. And like literally in Park City and in southern Utah as well. But I love the West, and I was thinking, oh, what if I like moved to Denver? It'd be so cool, the mountains. And at the same time, like, yeah, it'd be really cool, but all my people are in the Boston area. Like my girlfriend is here, all my friends are here, my parents are here. My dad lives in DC now though, but nearby enough. And I feel like I really want to be someplace where for me, I want to have a village. And I mean, I'm only 23, but when I start thinking about like raising a family, like I want my kids to be raised by a village. Like that's like very important to me because right now, the way my life is, like I'll come home from work and like most days I'll have a friend come over, we'll cook dinner, we'll hang out, I'll go to my friend's house. Like I see people, I see my friends. And when I was a little kid, like my parents didn't have friends like that. Like they would have, friends every once in a while, like twice a year, maybe like come over for dinner and it was like a big thing. Or they would like go on trips with their friends. But like my parents didn't have close by local like friends they'd spend a lot of time with. And as I've gotten older, like maybe it's just the person I am. I'm very social. Being close in community with people and having close relationships is something that's super important to me. But when I have children, like I don't want my life to change like that. Like I want to still have my friends come over, but instead of just my friend, it's like my friend and his kid or my friend and her baby and like my baby's there too and we're all together and we really raise our children as like a village because at the end of the day no one's perfect. Like it's everyone's first time living. And so what my kids can learn from me and my future wife, it's very different than what my kids can learn from like all of my friends if they build real relationships with them. Have you thought about that at all?
Definitely. I mean, I think that's the same. Have you ever read the book or heard of the book Midnight Library?
I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
So I like literally just finished it
Was
last
it good?
night. So good. But it's basically about how this girl lives her whole life with all these regrets. Like, oh, I should have moved literally to Australia was like one of her things. Like, I should have done this. I should have like traveled. I should have whatever. And then like she winds up being able to live all of these lives. And like she moves to Australia and hated it. And like she did this and she traveled the world and she hated it. And it's like she wound up at the end just choosing her original life and realized that that was the one that brought her the most joy, and that was the one that like involved being near her brother who loved her and being near her neighbor who needed her and like things like that. And I think it was a really great outlook for me because I'm always wondering where I'm moving to next, like especially at this time in my life. I'm not tied down to anybody. I'm not like, I love my job, but like it's very very remote. Like I'm able to kind of go around. We have stores in a ton of locations, so like I can like kind of go wherever I want. And I think that like I'm always overwhelmed by the fact that like I could literally move to Europe tomorrow and I could do this, and like why am I not doing
like decision
that?
paralysis.
And it's like sometimes I feel like I'm wasting my life or like wasting my 20s, my prime youth, kind of just like hanging around like waiting to see what's going on. But like at the other hand of it, like I am always with my family. I get to see people all the time, like friends. I'm always traveling, I'm always meeting new people and like making new connections, and I feel like that is so 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 valuable, and I'm always taking it for granted. And I think like that book was just like, interesting, like if I could go right now live in all these places and experience those lives, like would I be as fulfilled? And probably not. But the question of like where could you move if you could move anywhere, like I don't think I like have one, but like not where I'm living right now either, so I don't know. I like hope to be satisfied. I feel like that's what I really would like in my adulthood, is to just like be with somebody that I love and be around people that I love and who love me and be satisfied with wherever I am, versus kind of how I am now where I'm always like looking for the next best thing and always like looking to see where I'm going to go and like who I'm going to meet and what's going to happen and what's my life going to look like. Like I just need to focus, first of all, like it's in two parts. I need to focus on right now just like enjoying where I'm at, and then I also hope that when I'm older I can do that too.
Do you think that happiness is a choice?
Whoa. Maybe a little bit. I mean, I think a little bit of both. Like as somebody obviously who has like such bad depression, I would feel like a lot of the time I can't control. I mean, like I can, but like I was just talking about this to like my friend the other day. Like when I get sad, it's not like over something so simple. It's not like a hint of sadness. I can either be like happy or I can be mega depressed. And like even I was with my friend last weekend and I was like leaving her and I had like the best weekend and I was driving home. And I was just thinking to myself, like, wow, that was so amazing. Like, I love hanging out with my friend. And then, like, a little bit of sadness, like, ugh, wish it could last forever, but it can't. And that sadness immediately, like, 0 to 100, turned into, like, full-blown depression. Like, I need to, like, pull over because I'm, like, gonna drive my car into, like, somebody else's car. And it gets like that for
That's
me.
Awful.
But it's not because I'm, like, I mean, I guess, like, in that sense, I am, like, choosing to be sad, but like also that's like if I could just feel a faint little bitter sweetness, like that would be wonderful. Instead it went to like, oh my god, I'm so depressed, then I go to sleep, the next day I wake up, I'm totally fine again. So I don't know,
it's hard,
but I definitely think like I could choose right now to be happy, like glass half full versus glass half empty, whereas like I do often look and see the things that I don't have. Like, ugh, I wish I could be skinnier. I wish I, like, could live somewhere more fun. I wish I had a boyfriend. Like, blah, 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 blah. But then I don't actually, like, I don't know. It's a good question.
When you, like, experience something, do you first logic out the situation and then, like, choose how to feel? Or do you, like, feel things in your heart and then, like, your brain explains why you feel that way? Like, because at least for me, I feel like very often there's a situation and I, like, perceive it. I, like, maybe, like, intellectualize it too much, and that's, like, why this happens. But I also think it's healthy for me. I don't know. Like, situation happens, I understand it with my brain, and then I, like, choose how to feel. Like, I'm like, okay, this thing exists, and I'm going to choose to feel happy about it. And then I just, like, do.
Yeah.
But it takes, like, a pretty big situation for me to, like, feel things very intensely, very quickly. And then afterwards I can, like, rationalize why I was feeling that way. That doesn't happen very often.
I definitely feel things, like, to my core immediately. Like, I have a feeling inside that's, like, often very intense. But I also think I'm pretty good at, like, thinking about it from, like, a different perspective. I feel like when I was in group therapy, we talked all the time about that. And I feel like that there's so many things that I learned in there that were super helpful to, like, understanding what was going on and not just feeling it, but then also being able to, like, talk about it and think about it. I don't know, but I like your 5-year plan.
My 5-year plan of existing?
No, just, like, being around people that you love, being somewhere exciting. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be, like, fleshed out. It just... So you think you would, like, raise a family in Boston? Yeah.
I'm also lucky I was born here. Like, I have my family still here. My grandparents are only a couple hours away. Like, I have community here. But I'm also open. Like, I know my girlfriend might want to go to grad school in the future, and I might, too. I'm not, like, prematurely ruling it out. And so I would obviously move, like, where she goes, or she would go where I go. And so that obviously, like, plays a role in it as well. And I'm open. Like, I think whatever happens. I'm not going to say I need to be here for the rest of my life or for the next 5 years or 10 years. Like, whatever happens. And I'm always somebody who's very open to opportunity. I think that that's a super important thing, especially when you're young and you have all these, like, options and flexibility.
I feel like when, like, especially in the past year, like, every time I see you, we, like, meet up and I share, like, stories of what's going on. Is there any that I've ever shared with you that have, like, stood out to you that you like then repeat to others, or are you just like,
of course,
like, what?
I think your experience in New York when you were going to present for, like, the psychology. Have you told that on the podcast?
Not on this podcast, but I was on somebody else's podcast. I was on, like, the Scaries podcast. Yeah. So basically, I'll just give you, like, the summary. I was at this guy's house, though, is pretty much the summary, and I was, like, lost. My phone died, and, like, we were drunk, and I wound up falling asleep.
There was an Uber driver involved here someplace.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, I wound up, like, sleeping the whole night, whatever, and then it was chaotic in the morning because everyone thought I died. But
what's so chaotic, guys?
What's so upsetting is that this man that I was with that night could have made my entire life different from where it is right now, because if my friend didn't come knocking on the door with, like, the cops at, like, 6 a.m. being like, Bella, get out, and so pissed at him and me for falling asleep and, like, being so irresponsible, then maybe him and I would have, like, seen each other again. This man literally, so he has a girlfriend now, but I still follow him on Instagram.
Okay.
Who knows what he comes from?
Okay.
He has his own private jet that totes him and his girlfriend all around the world.
What?
She has the best damn life. He lives, first of all, I don't know how I didn't realize this at the time, but the apartment he lived in by himself was, like, a, like, humongous apartment in literally, like, the West Village of New York City. Like,
damn.
Huge kitchen, huge living room, huge bathroom, huge, like, bedroom.
So I'm hearing you messed up.
I'm so mad.
You fumbled the bag,
and
dude.
He literally takes this girl, like, everywhere, and they, like, literally today posted on, like, Nantucket with a giant, like, lobster seafood platter.
God.
And I'm just like, bruh. Like,
Could have been you.
If you didn't ruin that moment, Bella, of, like, falling asleep, if you just responsibly texted your friend, hey, spending the night here, his name is Xander, spending the night here at Xander's house, like, see you in the morning, none of that would have happened, and we probably could have had a nice relationship, and then I would have been the bitch on that private jet. And it really makes me upset. Like, every time he posts her, like, could I just unfollow? Yeah. But when I see her, mad. I get so jealous because I'm like, that should be me holding your hand. Like, you know that song? Yeah, like, that's how I feel. And it really is upsetting. And literally, like, he'll post, and there she is in Greece, and there she is in Egypt, and there she is in London, and there she is on Nantucket. And it's literally, like, neither of them work, and he just pays for her everywhere.
Where's the money come from?
And he must have like really rich parents. I don't know. And she posts every single day on this private jet with her dog, and him, and they literally have like caviar. It's literally insane. Crazy. I've never seen anything like it, and I was so close.
Get back on Raya and find.
And I met him on Raya.
I told you. Called it.
But I tried to get back on Raya when I was living in Park City, and I had like ended the subscription for a while. Like I had been off of it, and so I tried to get back on it just to like see the celebrities that were coming into Park City, and they like didn't accept me back.
That makes sense.
So I like basically ruined my life there too.
But in Park City, wasn't there a night where you did meet the CEO of 2 porn companies?
I did do that. I forgot about that. Yeah, I was out at No Name Saloon, and I met the CEO of X Videos and Pornhub. And he was like, wow, you look like you're someone special. And I was like, nah.
Didn't he give you like a free premium subscription?
How do you feel about the constant speculation about your sexuality from people?
Wait, that's a great question.
Right?
Oh my God.
Because I feel like really people like say that to me a lot. And I'm always like, no. This man loves boobs.
Wait, it's true. Okay. So I feel like it started back in like elementary school and middle school because I always had a very high voice. I was always friends with girls.
Is this something that like upsets you or no? Okay.
I'm like very secure.
Okay.
Because so I always had like a very high voice, hung out with all the girls. People were like, oh, you must be gay. And for a while I was like, no, like definitely not, whatever. Then in like middle school, I was in like 7th grade and I have a stepsister who's a year older than me, and she is a lesbian, like she is gay. And we were talking, and she was like, "Oh, like, are you gay?" And I was like, "No, I don't think so, but like maybe, I don't know." Because I was like in middle school.
I don't really know. Yeah.
And she was like, "You should just like tell people that you're bi." And I was like, "Okay, like why not?" So I sent a text to like a few people I was like close friends with.
Announcement.
Wait, no, like it was literally like, I mean, obviously I was in 7th grade. It was so dramatic. I was like, "Hey, I have some news. ... Like, can I trust you?" And it was really funny. I was like, "Hi, I just have to tell you, like, I'm bi, but I hope you don't, like, care, whatever. Hope you still love..." But it was very, like, dramatic. And then...
But this wasn't based on, like, any fact. This was just like...
My stepsister was like, "You should tell people you're bi."
Because people had been, like, telling you that you might be.
Like, for, like, all my life, everyone was always like, "You're probably, like, kind of gay." And I was like, all right, okay, I guess I must be if everyone else says it's true. It was never in doubt that I liked women. It was just a matter of, do I like men, too? So... I send this text, and then like everyone finds out that I'm bi. I'm like, oh no, it's so bad. But it was whatever. But I always had dated women.
Like, who was your first girlfriend?
My first ever girlfriend, the first girl I kissed was, her name is Amanda. We met at camp at Expo in Wellesley, going into 7th grade or 8th grade. She turned out to be a lesbian. It's not the first, not the last.
Wait, my first 2 like boyfriends also turned out to be gay.
Happens to the best of us.
Wait, that's crazy.
But then I dated this girl, Jenna, in high school for 8 months. She was really good. I liked her a lot. Dated another girl in high school. Her name was Naomi. I don't know where she's doing.
This whole time you were bi?
I think I knew I was straight. I just wasn't gonna like correct the record. Like I didn't gaff.
Did they ever ask you like, oh, are you sure you're into me or no?
No. Okay. Because like
he made it pretty known.
I was like a horny boy. Like I think I managed well.
Yeah.
And then I went to college, had girlfriends too. I have like a long-term relationship with a woman now, so definitely feel like pretty straight. But there was this one time.
I'm definitely pretty straight, guys.
I am. I don't know what to tell you, but there was this one time where I was in Georgia. This is actually, I can just tell this entire story. It's pretty crazy. This is, I think, the crazy story I have.
Wait, yay!
Okay.
I don't think I know it.
It's Halloween weekend, my sophomore year of college. And I wake up at 5 a.m. I'm awake at 5 a.m, and my other roommate...
On purpose?
Yes. My roommate is there, and he's like drunk, stumbling home with our other friend. They're there, and I'm waking up at 5 a.m. because I need to get on a Greyhound bus to go to Florida to judge a debate tournament. Little known fact, I did debate in high school, and debate's a really cool activity where once you graduate, you can like judge high school debate and get paid for it.
What?
So I was going to get paid to spend my weekend in Florida. So okay, cool.
That's awesome.
I get in the Uber on the drive to the Greyhound station in Atlanta, and I have to call 911 for the first time that morning because we're driving this way on the highway, and there's another car on the other side of the highway also driving this way, which means they're going the wrong way, going like 50. So I call 911, tell them the car's going backwards, whatever. We get to the Greyhound station. I'm at the Greyhound station. It's just me. I'm hanging out. And right before we get on the bus, this random man, he's like homeless, I presume. Sorry, unhoused.
Tufts is about to rescind your degree.
My degree for saying homeless. This homeless man, he like collapses and starts having a seizure. And like when I tell you, not a single person in this Greyhound station like cared. Everyone was just like, whatever, guess it happens. But I was like, no, I have to call 911. So I called 911 for the second time that morning because there was a man having a seizure. The 911 operator, swear to God, she's like, oh, like what's his dental history? Like what's his like heart history? I was like, he's a random homeless man. I have to get on my bus. Like please just like come, like stop. So then I think the paramedics got there. I got on my bus. On my bus, I write a paper, and I also meet this girl. This girl is probably like 18, 19, and she tells me she's run away from home. And that's why she's on this Greyhound bus to go to Florida. Obviously, I'm like, all right, whatever. She gets my number, and 3 months later, she texts me and asks if she can stay with me because her sister kicked her out and she was homeless. And I was like, no, I live in a dorm. Like, you can't stay with me. Sorry. But I still have her number. I hope she's doing okay. Sorry, Asia, shout out. Then I get to Florida, and I have one friend at the University of Florida that I'm like gonna hang out with, but my sleeping arrangement, it's really cool. So if you look at like the college campus, in the middle, they have like a student building, and on top of the student center is a hotel because they have a hotel management school. So I was able to stay in this student-run hotel. My room was at the end of a hallway, and on one side of the hallway, like on the outside, there's like a nice like courtyard, and there's like a balcony onto the courtyard. And I have a balcony, and the room across from me on the other side also has a balcony. So I judge my debate rounds for the day. My friend at University of Florida, I see her, but she's not free that night. They're going to do something else. So I am like on my own, but it's Halloween weekend. I'm like, I want to do something like fun, right? Like it's kind of lame to be by myself. And as it turns out, the people across from me, they were like kind of having a party. I could see them, but I was like, I don't want to go to their party like empty handed. Like I don't know these people at all. So I go puff a bottle of wine. Go puff is like DoorDash, Grubhub, but for like groceries in like Florida. And they use my fake ID. It works very well. I get this bottle of wine, but we have a problem. There's no like can opener, and it's not a twist. And I was like, oh, stop. So I go downstairs. I get a scissors from the front desk, and the front desk guy and I like use the scissors to like uncork the bottle of wine.
Oh my God.
So I was like, sweet, I have this bottle of wine. I'm ready to go. Like I'm going to go out tonight with these people. So across from my room is their room, and I bang on the window that they can sort of see at the hallway window, and you can see from the outside balconies. Okay. And I hold up my bottle of wine, and I'm like, me come, like me hang out with you guys. And they're like, yeah, okay. Somebody opens the door. We start chatting. Turns out they all did high school debate too. That's why they're at this debate tournament also. So I knew some of them like very briefly in high school, but not crazy well. So we decide to all go out. So we go out at the University of Florida, which for those who don't know, if you picture a college campus, like right across the street at the University of Florida, that's where these like big bars and clubs are. And it was insane. What? It was crazy. Like instead of, if you're picturing Tufts, instead of like the SCC or the JCC, literally picture like a massive club, like massive bars. What? They're so close to campus. So we get there. There's a huge line because it's Halloween weekend. But we didn't want to wait in the line.
Wait, were you dressed up?
No. I was just wearing like whatever, like going out outfit. I think like a Hawaiian shirt.
Okay.
And we go in line, but we don't want to wait in line. So instead we got a table because there's like 20 of us. And so we get this table. It's like $50 a person. It's probably really expensive. But then we get inside. We get shown this table. It has all this alcohol in it. It was great. And I'm like there for the weekend. I want to have fun. So I have to kiss like a pretty girl, right? But there's two ways for people to like have fun at a club and like try to make out, try to diffmo, as the kids say. Option one.
Love a good diffmo.
No, love a good diffmo, right? So option one is you like dance with somebody, you like feel the vibes, you like lean in and see what happens. I was way too lazy. I was like, that's way too much effort. I option two'd. I went up to literally every single girl in this bar and I was like, hi, I'm Sam. I don't go to school here. I go to school in Georgia. Like, want to make out. I'm just here for the weekend. I made out with like 4 hot women.
What?
Like, it was crazy. Just gotta be forward. It just worked. I mean, obviously a lot of them like walked away or were creeped out, but like I don't really gaff. Like I don't know them. I wasn't gonna like do anything. I just was like, whatever. So I made out with these like really hot girls. This one girl was like a model, and I was like, damn, all right, whatever. It's kind of fun.
What?
But
this
then,
Sarah's game.
Stop. I'm in a really long-term relationship with somebody I'm really happy with, guys. Don't worry.
Don't worry, everybody.
So then this was kind of nuts, but the cops started raiding this bar, and I was a little drunk, and when I'm drunk, I'm kind of a klepto. So the cops were raiding this bar because it's the Coke bar, and apparently people were like dealing a bunch of drugs. I wasn't involved in that at all, but I was scared because I was underage. So I was like, shit, we gotta go. So I tried to find my group. They're kind of all like scattered. I don't even know these people. I don't know how to get back to my like hotel. I'm like plastered. But I did steal this big bottle of vodka from our table because like we paid for it. And
Yeah.
I was like, I want it. So I put it like under my pants, like under my shirt and pants a little bit. And I like walk out of the bar. I found this guy in our group and we like stumble back to the hotel. He's in my room. We like start talking. We're on the balcony chatting. And he's like, are you bi? And I was like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't think so. But like, try anything once because why not?
Yeah.
And so then we put him on the bed. And this is where it gets
Wait,
like,
it's just you two?
Just the two of us.
Okay.
Just the two of us. And I never like kissed a boy really in like a sexual way before. Like kissed the homies goodnight, but like I hadn't like been with a man. And I realized like in that moment, like I'm straight. Like this is just a man on my bed and like he's not attractive. Maybe if he was like hot, it'd be different. But he was just not attractive and I wasn't really into it. But I felt bad. Like I already like brought him here. And so instead of
And was
like,
he like gay?
I think he was a little gay. He's definitely like bi gay. It was cool. He was cool. Nice kid. I don't even remember his name, and I'm really sorry if he's listening somehow. I hope he's well. But instead of giving him a kiss, I just start like scratching him. Like I just like scratch his chest because I'm like that's kind of hot. Like I don't know. And then I scratch him, and then after like 30 seconds of that, I'm like, not into it. And there were two beds in this hotel room, like this bed and like my bed. And I go to sleep in my bed and he's like, can I stay here? I was like, no, get the fuck out. Like, I never want to see you again. And then he left. And that's the story of my only gay experience.
So you didn't even kiss?
No.
Oh, shit.
He was ugly.
Well, okay, so.
But I scratched him.
Okay, good job. I like used to think that I might be bi also. And I had a woman in high school that I was pretty in love with. But then after that experience, I think I realized I was only gay for her.
Speaking of, I feel like a lot of people are college bisexual. And what I mean by that is they go to college at a place like Tufts where every other bitch you meet is bisexual or says they're bisexual. And they're like, I'm bi. And then they're actually like, oh, I would never like date a woman. I just like think women are pretty. And I'm like that. Like
that's how I was. Like I used to be like, oh, I'm bi. Like people would be like, okay, like would you get with a woman? And I was like, well, not really. And they're like, well, would you like be in love with a woman? And I was like, well, not really. Like I just think that like boobs are cute.
Boobs are cute. It's fair. And I feel like that way about men sometimes where I'm like, this man is objectively like hot. Like I think he's good looking.
Yeah.
But like the idea of like sucking on his cock, like that's not for me.
No, it's different. No.
Like that's not for me. I don't want that. And
that's
I don't
the same
want
thing. Yeah.
his penis and me, like, you know what I mean?
Like I do not want to see a vagin go anywhere near that thing.
Whereas for me, I'm like, I love pussy. Like that sounds fun. Like, come on.
See, and that's why we're both straight.
Exactly.
Sam, thank you so much for coming on this podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for sharing your crazy stories and for living out the scariness of Tufts with me.
Appreciate it. You know, I'm glad that even though I couldn't come with that man, I didn't make him come, but I came on this podcast.
You know what? Perfect. You know what? That's great, Sam. I definitely think like people that maybe have gone to Tufts or maybe people that have like gone to a similar college will understand our trials and tribulations, but also all of the greatness that it brought, including this friendship.
Oh, so true.
And I'm so glad that I get to see you every time I come to Boston, and we need to see each other more. But
you know where I am.
Yeah, I hope you had a belly laugh. Ha 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 ha.
Hello.
Thank you for coming to Belly Laughs. Thinking you can pitch it up.
Hello. Wow.
Thank you for listening to Belly Laughs.